Welcome, race fans, back to SVR, to the wonderful S1 division. My name is Webbo. I'm here to join you as usual for proceedings today, and we find ourselves in a fantastic position now in the championship. Take a look at how things are with Vader having won the first two races. It will be a huge surprise to see Arya on top of the tree right now. After 3 rounds, it's 48 points for Arya. It is 46 for the double winner, Vader. Beregoz is in third place with 41 points, with Balofay on 32. The Stig is in fifth with 30 points. Vicinity in sixth place with 26 points, with QT and Soulshock tied for seventh on 24. Senor Dude has 16, Betsy Mario 14, Scavvy 12, Jogon Sim 9, Yank on 8, and Wogrizzle on 2 points. That means that in the divisional side of things for the Teams Championship, Kimmies are ahead on 72 points of Coach Dave on 65. Team Mega have 58 points in third place in the division, with Yamplact Interiors on 54. Then comes Delesi on 50, Bergstein on 23, and Brokaga on 16. However, you flip that around a little bit for the total cross-divisional scores after the first three races of the season. That leaves Mega as the standout team at this stage at the very top, with I think that is then looking at it's then Delesi 159 points to Mega's 204 so far. 145 for Kimmy's in third, and then I'm having to do some maths very quickly, which, as you all well know, is not my strong suit. Yamplact ahead of Buckstein by just a single point, with Brokaga on 132 and Coach Dave on 122. That's how things look at this point. We are heading into a quick sprint race very soon, so can't wait to get that underway. There may be a short delay, a short pause, I should say, in our proceedings for the between the sprint and the feature race. My apologies for that, but that's how things are going to go down today. I was going to do the sprint race late, but everything's starting late today, so we're going to do that. And then I don't really have a lot of filler video to put in the middle of the stream, but I will do my best to find something entertaining on stream rather than just a starting screen. Speaking of which, I'm going to have a look at what's going on track. Almost went to track then for a moment, and we don't want to be doing that. So let's get you some moving brum cars, shall we, on here, and see what's going on. This is not qualifying yet, don't worry. Nobody has missed anything, and unfortunately for Arya, we just find him right sitting there off the circuit. I'm just checking that the race has definitely not started. Correct. Okay. Now, what's happening with this run? We are going to be going for 10-lap sprint in reverse championship order, just for a little bit of fun here, essentially. Then we're going to go into a short break before a regular qualifying and race setup, as you would absolutely expect and have come to expect from our wonderful drivers. Hopefully they're all going to get Hector working. It looks like we've only got 7 drivers connected to Hector at the moment. Well, we had more for a moment or two there. I'm not quite sure what's happening at the moment, but this is showing as Vader on track. Another piece of news for you is we have the return of Team Darkside Racing have emerged, thanks to it being Star Wars Day next week. Our team represented for Vader here is going to be running in his old livery, essentially. Lord Vader has insisted upon it for May the 4th, which is next week's, but an excuse to get ourselves some Star Wars content. I'm sure that's exactly what everybody wants to see. So Vader will be rocking that particular livery. There's Bedsty Mario on circuit as well. We're waiting to get underway. I should say a big hello to everybody on the live stream here. Hi to Kaisha the Pixels, who was first, no doubt at all in my mind about that. Kaisha the Pixels straight on to the S1 stream after the Adrian Newey division finished. Then AJ, hi to you. We've got Biggerwood, Red Snowstorm, Stormborn, and dummy as well, who everybody is here to enjoy the race at the moment. We are looking like we're about to get underway then for this race. So let's get ourselves together. Let's hope that everything is going to show up on Hector for me. Unfortunately, right now it's not showing particularly well, so I'm going to have to show my regular situation here. It's 5 lights on for the quick sprint race at Interlagos, and it's go, and it looks like we're Grizzle away well straight away, and we've got some interesting goings on down in the back of the field. Vader, Arya, Beregoz, Vicinity, all very close, all making slight contact through the run through for the first 3 corners. Through we go through the center S, and Vader was getting a little bit loose there. We've got QT leading the fast pack. Arya is already up to 10th place and bullying, and Stig goes right round on the outside. Round would try, and it's the Verstappen line from it looked like Senior Dude possibly for Brokaga, but Grizzle leads them away. And everything is running quite nicely at this stage. Grizzle leading. Joe from Yenk and Soulshock, Scavvy, Senior Dude and Arya all the way up to P7. Beregoz nibbling away at the diffuser of Arya at this stage. And we're running on and we go through the next few corners. It is Grizzle, Jogon Sim, Soulshock and Scavvy, your top 4. Arya chasing down Senior Dude at this stage and trying to find an opportunity to get his way through there. Beregoz looking down the inside into Yun Sao as they fire out of that final corner for the first time of asking. Senior Dude is definitely about to be swamped by some very quick championship leading cars, and he's in for himself. He's also trying to go for the move on Scavvy, who defends heavily down into turn 1. Senior Dude runs wide. Arya tries to get down the inside. Beregoz with the switchback attempt as well. Jogon Sim has already been passed by his teammate. It is all going on here. Vader ahead of Stig in 8th and 9th place. Mario slipping down. It's Jenk the Tank and Vicinity, who has yet to make any ground to speak of at all so far. P-Reeve in the safety car at the back of the grid, but it's Grizzle leading Soulshock and Scavvy. And then we've got some side-by-side action. That looks like it's possibly Vader. Is it? Yes, it is. It's Vader side-by-side with Jogon Sims, who sweeps around the outside, and then he's forced to take avoiding action as he tries to make a move. Then on the Kimmy's car in front of Senior Dude. That's Senior Dude trying to make a move, but he doesn't quite get it. Beregoz in 5th. And as I said before, everything happening all at once. Let's cut to Vader's Twitch stream. We can't do that, unfortunately. He has not connected. We'll go for Beregoz instead, right in the midfield here, chasing down Arya. The driver's keen to get the championship points. It's not a full amount of championship points, naturally, but this is Beregoz on your picture-in-picture and in your main screen at the moment. Vader in 6th, Senior Dude in 7th, but it's Grizzle, Soulshock and Scavvy who still lead this away. Arya looking for that opportunity down the inside of Scavvy into turn 1 we go. Beregoz tries to follow him through, and that might get tangled up. Beregoz off circuit. And might have to duck out of the throttle or pick up a penalty. Let's stay and try and see if anything happens to Beregoz as Vader tries to capitalise as well. But at this stage, this is riding on board with Scavvy. Beregoz versus Vader around the outside. Vader tries the old side swipe. Beregoz is too firm on the inside, and it doesn't work out. But here comes Boliday Faye for Team Mega to try and have a look down the inside. Scavvy is still sitting there, and he's not quite sure which way to go. Behind him comes Boliday Faye, but he had to file in. This is a single fire section of the track, and off goes Scavvy. That's going to let through first Boliday Faye, Stig, Jogon Sim, Bedsty, Mario as well, and Scavvy down to 11th position at this stage of the race. Arya is up into 3rd place now, and knocking on the door of 7th place. There's another new paint scheme has been applied to the Kimmy's Racing Team cars at the moment. Cannot keep up with these new livery options. We'll try and have a closer look at that soon. But Arya following Soulshock. I imagine that's going to be a team call to Soulshock at this stage. Soft tyres, of course, are the way to go. Fastest lap here on lap 4 goes by way of Arya. They are spamming the overtake button as much as possible. Car number 14 progressing well and heading on through. We ride on board, picture-in-picture, lower right of your screen, with Beregoz, who is now in 4th place as Arya passes Soulshock. That was very, very easy for Arya, who's going for back-to-back wins, I think, here at the moment, although of course they don't count fully for a sprint win, but he'll do his best to try and carry on. And Canadians killing it, says Red here. And everybody is following Lance Stroll. Big fans of Lance Stroll, I know everybody, all the Canadian team. I did hear a little bit of hate from Arya on Jacques Villeneuve, which I find baffling, but obviously he's a Lance Stroll kind of a guy. Arya tucked down the inside. This is a challenge coming up for P1 then, where Grizzle has to hold the inside line. Arya, will he sweep around the outside, leaves a space. That was a safety space down the inside and through into the lead of the race. As Solshock is going to go for second position. Here he goes. Look right, look left, and behind him Beregoz follows him through, but Solshock has got loads to do here to try and make his way and hold off Beregoz. He's got the inside line heading in, but Solshock braking early. Beregoz very, very late, almost colliding, and that's wide from Woe Grizzle, who unfortunately has gone from the lead down to 5th position, 6th position now as he falls down the order, thanks in no small part to that melee into turn 1. It's halfway through the sprint race, can you believe it? Solshock still hanging on to 3rd position and doing a great job here. It's the usual suspects, Arya and Beregoz ahead now of Solshock, with Vader and Solshock trying to do his level best here to hold off Vader. Nobody's really thinking about tyre wear. Nobody's too concerned about that. They're just trying to get this car home. It's that's your top 4. Then we've got Bolide Faye for Team Mega in P5. Woe Grizzle down in 6th. Stig in 7th. Senor Dude go side by side on the way into Pico di Pato. Stig ahead. And there goes Woe Grizzle wide again, and Woe Grizzle round. Unfortunately, that is a bit of a shocker, but I wonder if that was a rejoin that didn't quite work out for him. Let's have a look then as he runs down into Pico di Pato on the outside. Stig didn't really turn to the apex, left little room for Woe Grizzle, thankfully avoiding any other contact as he ran through. But back to the racing action we go, excuse me, as Woe Grizzle down to the back of the grid now, sadly. Arya has a 9.6 tenth of a second gap. Oh, he almost got excited there for a moment. Beregoz in 2nd, Solshock in 3rd, and take a look at Vader versus Solshock. Vader to the inside, down Reta Aposta into the Ciudad del Lago. Vader over-egging it maybe, round the outside, risking a penalty there. And again through the exit into Ferradura, side by side they try to go. Solshock on the racing line, Vader on the inside, and completes the move then. Vader into 3rd. It is Arya, Beregoz, Vader, your new order. Solshock in 4th position. Bolide has a half-second penalty. Won't trouble Solshock on this exit out of Yonsao. Lap 6 then. Belch Di Mario in 7th place. As the Brokaga team's fortunes have reversed themselves through the course of the race. Senor Dude in 8th. Vicinity slowly but surely making his way up the order, hoping for a late race challenge, I think, as the sun glints off our beautiful SF23 cars. Vicinity down, he goes in towards Yonsao. That looked like wide from Scabby, missed the apex certainly, as we ride on board with Vicinity main picture and see if we can find our way through. You keep watching Beregoz. Shout out anything that you might see. I will give you a link later on to everybody's Twitch channel so that you can do what you need to do to view your favourite driver. As we ride on board with the Vicinity, he's looking for a good line through the Senna S. This looks like it's going to be. He's used all of his overtake factor though, and I don't think that's going to be put him in great stead. May the force be with you on Senor Dude's car. It's certainly with him at the moment, and it's able to lift him just a little bit ahead of Vicinity. Scabby's in 10th position. Yank the Tank is in 11th. We haven't watched Yank's stream. I think we probably should, because he really does go all out. As Yank the Tank down in 11th. We've got QT, Jogon Sim, Woe Grizzle. 14 runners remain. This is how things look at the head of the field. P2, Beregoz, Arya in that P1, and Vader chasing down hard in P3. Arya holding on though, 1.2 seconds, extending his gap at the moment, and he hasn't used too much overtake. That first couple of laps from Arya were absolutely fantastic. He's managed to make this one work, but 0.2 of a second between Vader and Beregoz. Vader making a very late lunge to the outside here. He's out on the grass, and that you can very easily spin, but he holds on, no doubt, around the outside. Darth Vader then scything through the field back up to P2, but will Beregoz have the opportunity to challenge back here as they both touch grass on the way in to into Interlagos, but Beregoz will have to hold off now. Vader will go on the hunt and go on the chase for Arya's P1, but is it too late to make that difference? 1 second between them. Vader going very wide. The drivers are extending track limits beyond which I would be comfortable, but they know their way around, and no penalty coming by way of Vader. He's using those curbs to perfection, you have to say, on the exit. Coach Dave slash Darkside livery today, performing some good work here for Vader, giving him some good luck. Vader, though, out on the grass on the exit. That gives an advantage here to Beregoz, who was smoother, cleaner through. Vader trying to dispel the bad memory of the previous race as he runs through now, and Beregoz almost pushing him down the main start-finish straight. This is absolutely crazy. Beregoz to the outside, brakes slightly later. Can he tuck himself in here for a run through the Estosena? And he does so. And he gets, and Vader spins. That's Vader spun round. Now let's have another look at that one, because from Vader's perspective, it looked like Beregoz was pushing him up the hill. As we go into the Estosena, Beregoz behind, but he's got the shorter run into the second part. Vader was already off the circuit before he touched Beregoz. You'll have to make your own judgment on that one. I'd love to hear from you, but Vader, in no doubt, turned around down in P6. It's Arya leading on lap 9 from Beregoz. 1.9 seconds is the gap, but we have got then Vader back on the hunt, and he's only less than a second away from the stick as he runs through. I wouldn't be able to do too many of these sprint streams, I can tell you. Vader wide and once again, and just hanging on to a huge snap out on the dirt there. We saw him earlier on abusing those curbs, but I think perhaps the soft tyres going, and I think perhaps the fuel running low as well, is putting in some fantastic performance at the moment. But as he drew swords or sabres with Beregoz, came off the worst from that move, as Bigger One says. Rip Vader. As Vader then will make the move, will he? Now he's roles are reversed from earlier on. He's got that advantageous inside line. Looked like there might have been a touch of contact running through, but nothing as dramatic as we saw earlier. Vader has spent all of his boost coming through. He's made his one move, and Stig unable then to catch back, but closing in nicely on Interlagos. You can see the state of Vader's tyres are definitely causing him more than a little bit of concern. Arya comes down through the Pinerino corner into Bico di Pato now. He's got a comfortable lead, you have to say, at this stage. Through we go. Mergulo corner, the downhill, almost double left before you hit the brakes for the final time into Yonsao. Colour change paint working an absolute treat for Arya, who fires out of Yonsao. He's used all the boost, he's used everything he's got at his disposal, and he's gone last to first. It's Arya in 10 laps. On the top step, taking the checkered flag for himself, Kimmys and Canada. Beregoz are P2, and then Boliday Faye for Team Mega in P3. Soulshock might just hold on ahead of Vader here. He does so. Soulshock in 4th, Vader in 5th, Stig in 6th, with Bedsti Mario in 7th. Vicinity coming home in 8th place in the number 42. Then comes Senor Dude and Scabby, with Yank the Tank racing on in your picture-in-picture to come through in 11th place. Jogon Sim ahead of QT, it looks like, on the line. Disappointing run from QT, that one. There was probably drama that we didn't quite see, but that was your sprint race. I think where Grizzle ended up either disconnecting or quitting out, but Arya with a 13 place climb to victory in 10 laps. This is how things stand then provisionally. With the fastest lap going by way of Vader, 1:15.7. Arya takes the win with just under 13 minutes of running ahead of Beregoz, Boliday Faye and Soulshock. Then Excuse me a moment. I was wanting to turn off Yank's stream, but I don't appear to be able to. Yeah, I'm okay. Soulshock in 4th, Vader in 5th, Stig in 6th, and Mario in 7th, with Vicinity in 8th position. Let me just, I think you can see enough on the screen there. Senor Dude in 9th, Scavvy in 10th, and Yank the Tank in 11th place. We have Joe Gonsim in 12th, QT running in 13th place with P. Reeve 14th, obviously in the safety car, did not finish, and neither, sadly, did Wogrizzle. 13 finishes then, some 34-second field spread over the 10 laps. And that was your sprint race provisional result for the championship at this stage. We will be getting ready then for the next race, as we get a situation where the host has had to restart his PS5 to get everything. I'm just going to catch up on the live chat. So thank you everybody who's already hitting the live chat comments. Really appreciate it. Let me just do my best then to try and find you the link that I think you would need to run, as I will. This won't be quite as upbeat and smooth then this interim period, and I will leave the driver standings on screen at the moment. So let me show you. I would just ask that you've all subscribed to this channel, please, and sent it on to a friend. If all of our members plus one friend managed to subscribe to our channel today, we will get into a monetizable situation very quickly. We need that 1,000 subscribers, of course. That is absolutely key. So please, if you can, get yourselves sorted out. That's definitely what we want to see. All right, hopefully this is going to work. Okay, it's not quite going to work. I will try and do this bit. Okay, so I've sent a link in the live chat. I'm hoping that you should be able to click that then. You may have to take off the ellipsis at the end of the link in order to make it work. But hopefully that should give you access to all of our driver stream channels on Twitch, and you should then be able to, obviously you want the S1 group, and then you can watch and subscribe to all of your favorite drivers. And if all of you start watching that for me, you can absolutely help me call out any developments, any activity. If you want to, you can talk about their current situation with regard to tyres, fuel, etc. But I'm hoping that will come through now, that link. And if you could test it for me, I would be super grateful. But yes, like I said, please subscribe to our wonderful SVR Racing channel. I'm sure you're already doing your best to subscribe to my stuff as well. And I will also leave you a new link as well for my all new personal merch store in here as well, so you can take a look at some of the designs that we've developed so far. So follow this link and you should be able to find that as well. But I'm going to pin that. If someone could give me a thumbs up that the previous link, the Nice Pebble link, is working for you, I would be super grateful. And then I will try and find what's happening here. We've got SVRS run round 3 Suzuka title room. I think that might be. Thank you, Bummy. That's fantastic. I appreciate that. So what I do then is I'm going to pin. I can't pin. Okay. I can't pin that because I'm not in as SVR Racing on my second device, so I can't do what I wanted to do. We're going to have 53 laps around Interlagos coming up for you. We're going to do our best to show you all the action and everything that is happening at the moment. Hands of Blue says link works. Can anyone else click on the Twitch streams? It may be you just have to use the Twitch handles within your Twitch app or on a Twitch browser. in order to locate those. It may be that the links themselves don't work, but the account name should be correct. It is a requirement that our drivers stream to Twitch. I think we might be starting to do penalties at some point when they don't, but that's what we're working on anyway, to the best of our ability. I'm just going to see if I can't give you something cool to watch while we get the next stream ready. Let's see what I can do. Let's have a look then at what I can do for you. Try and show this. And then you don't have to listen to my voice right now. Thank you very much for the information there on the no sound. It should be coming through, so that's annoying. It's coming through for me. So let's have a look. See if I can't restart that for you. No. Okay, I know what I'm doing. I think this should work now. Let me see.
Interlagos, in the heart and soul of Brazilian motorsport, officially known as Autódromo José Carlos Paes.
How's that,
Let's
folks?
be honest, no one ever calls it that. This track doesn't just host races, it creates drama. Interlagos is short, intense and unpredictable. A roller coaster of a circuit wedged between São Paulo's hills, it's a place where legends are made and championships are lost in the final sector. The layout, old school, the elevation, wild. And the crowd, if we could hear them through our headsets, they'd be screaming. Turn 1 drops into the Senna S, named after a man who made this place sacred. Nail it and you're golden. Miss it and you're playing catch-up until the checkered flag. Then there's Junção, that final left-hander before the long run up the hill. It's your last chance to make a move, or make a mess. This round, the super formulas are unleashed once again. Single-seaters designed to slice through corners like scalpels. Precision matters. One twitch too much through Bico de Pato, and your lap is cooked. And right behind them, the GT3s, locked and loaded. With all that grunt under the hood, they'll muscle their way up Ferradura, trading paint like it's currency. But while the drivers battle it out under the South American sun, let's not forget the power behind the grid. Bro Cargo runs logistics smoother than a lap on fresh softs, using AI smarts that could probably run their own race team. Berkestein? Their transport game is so dialed in, they could probably tow your GT3 car across Europe and still make quali. Jan Placht makes homes look better, faster and cleaner, the kind of transformation we wish we saw more of in Turn 10. Delesi isn't just moving freight, they're setting the pace behind the scenes. Meanwhile, Coach Dave Delta is in the data again, finding time in places most drivers don't even know exist. Mega Transport handles the heavy stuff. Big loads, big distances, kind of like pulling off a clean overtake in Turn 4. And while all this chaos unfolds, Kimi's nursery reminds us, every future sim racing champion started off with 2 wheels on a plastic trike. This is round 4 of SVR Season 2. The standings are shifting, the tension is rising, and Interlagos, she's waiting. Fast, fiery and unforgiving. SVR, virtual thrills, real glory. Bem-vindo ao Brasil.
I'm just going to try and get some notes here for our race. So Nikki's enjoying big loads. Thank you for that. Oh, it looks like that was perfectly timed for quali. Let's get underway, shall we? And get watching. Rolling start for qualifying here, as you would expect. We get ready for qualifying to start. I'm hoping Hector is going to wake up for us, as we will hopefully then be able to get you a driver eye view of qualifying. Remember, this is just about running a lap now as fast as possible, and doing your best then to make this work, make your tyres work, keep the gap to the car behind as well, and make sure that everything runs as smoothly as possible. I will pick Vader for picture in. Why do I keep thinking I can pick Vader or Arya for picture in picture? We have no stream from them, unfortunately, so I will pick one of the favourites here. I will ride on board with Beregoz. Try and choose some information that will help us out, help us see what's happening. We will see the order on the tower on screen as well. So we're going to do our best then to try and make sure that we can track everything that's going on. Just remember, just a rolling endurance race to find the fastest driver over the course of a single lap here. Very aggressive soft tyre wear should give them only the opportunity to do 2, maybe at this track 3 flying laps. This is then coming out of Yonsao for the time being. Just going to check off something there as we run through. Probably cut quite a tight line to the pit wall when it comes to actually setting the time, but we're at absolute VMAX, just at the pinnacle here. Look at how late Beregoz is on the brakes. That's probably like 40 meters or something that he breaks down into the S2 Sena and through Curva del Sol and onto the Reta Oposta, the back straight or opposite straight essentially. Down we go towards Desierto del Lago. Look for that late braking maneuver again, and there it is, probably 35 meters, maybe slightly too late because he was left wrestling with the car over the exit as he heads down towards Ferradura, the first of the 2 right-handers, even then next to Laranjina, before we head in towards the SA corner. Nice and slow, big cut into the corner, then into Pinheirino, heavily banked but awkwardly cambered on exit corner of Pinheirino into Pico di Pato. We may get some overtakes into this corner at the start of the race. Then we go through Mergulo, another banked corner before heading down into Yonsao, and cutting as much as possible. See that short shift up to 3rd gear, got used the second to get the car to tuck in, and then straight into 3rd almost before the throttle was applied. Heading on out, then we go. He's had a single mini sector that's purple. As he hugs that pit wall, Beregoz is going to set his timer 1:16.631 for Beregoz. Bedsti Mario 0.4 of a second behind. Vader immediately fastest, before we then ride with Arya, who runs through. Vader 0.9 of a second faster than Beregoz at the start of this race. Solshock across the line goes 5th at this time as Vicinity puts himself in 6th, quickly beaten though by Yank the Tank, who goes 5th place. The Stig is next to come through. It looks like a driver had just pitted. That was Bolide Fate, fitted tyres and then pitted immediately. Stig into 5th place now, provisionally. Of course, the first run's being done. This is on board as we go through. That's QT, I think, going up into 8th position overall. Woe Grizzle goes 8th now, beats QT by a very small margin, losing out to Vicinity behind as we run then. Senor Dude comes out of the final corner, I think the final flying lap at this stage. Bolide Fay having not set a time. Here comes Senor Dude, although I think this is actually an out lap, so he was late to the party. Came out and put on new tyres very, very late, so we'll ride with him at this stage. I wonder what is Vader up to at the moment. Sorry, that's Ballo Fay, so I wonder what Ballo's up to as he runs through. This is Senor Dude. Try and get you an update on his lap momentarily. I have to put race info on for that in order to see how this is going. But Vader are 1:15.732. That's his best time so far. Runs through then and into Pico di Pato for Senior Dude. He's a long way back at this stage because he pitted after just one warm-up lap. I wonder if there was a problem. It's unusual, but it is a known tactic anyway to try and get yourself some room on the racetrack. We have got pit stops underway though, as that lap number 3 is being finished from several drivers heading into the pits. I think Jenk, Beregoz, Beregoz, Mario have gone through. We're going to just stay on the softs and run 2 laps at this point. We're nearly halfway through this qualifying period, so Jenk opting to run back-to-back fast laps. Senior Dude goes 6th with a time of 1:17.7, although it's red on my screen, so I'm wondering if that didn't actually complete or register for some reason for him. But anyway, Senior Dude has run 2 laps back-to-back. Let's join. Well, we've got several drivers on the run. Bolide Faye is the man on the mission at the moment to try and get you go back to his stream, I think, because he's about to continue his run. In fact, let's go full screen with him. Try and find you a driver who is running hard. That is Scavy coming on into your picture-in-picture at the moment. We ride on board with Bolide Faye. Don't know if this is going to be an in-lap at this stage. Update on his lap as he heads down towards you on south. Doesn't really help me. It doesn't go purple or green, so I'm guessing it's a little bit slower. Just checking in on the Hector screen to see if anyone's going purple. Beregoz possibly on the run, so let's see Bolide Faye's lap complete. 16.3 for Bolide Faye. He goes 2nd position. Tremendous time from him as we rejoin Beregoz then, who had a quicker start to his lap, but it's been slow ever since. Let's see as the second period comes through. This is the first flying lap. That's a personal best, but not the best so far from Beregoz. Vader leads at 15.7. Bolide just 0.6 of a second behind at this stage. Has definitely closed in the gap then at the moment. This is Beregoz going for the line. What will this be for him? It's a new provisional pole position by 61 thousandths of a second. Beregoz going fastest at this stage of qualifying. I wonder if the drivers are actually going to try for 3 sets of tyres. Looks like Arya's gone 4th. Beregoz Di Mario in 5th, showing very well indeed. Beregoz Di Mario, that is a very impressive run from him at this stage. Let's have a look then, shall we, at Stig. Forgive me, I might have to just flick through drivers until I find him. There we go. I know it's not a pleasant thing to watch, but I can't see the number on the track that he is to press on my keyboard. Here comes Stig towards the line. This has been a pretty good lap by his standards, and it's a personal best. He's gone faster by nearly 0.4 of a second into P6 at this stage. This is provisional, of course. Scavy on track in front of him and in your picture-in-picture as well. QT goes 9th. With a good lap again, as it looks like Vader might be producing another quick one. Let's ride with him, shall we? And perhaps stick with maybe Vicinity, I want to say, on his current lap picture-in-picture. But we've got Vader on track at the moment, and he's had one mini purple sector, and it's enough to bring him into a purple situation on the approach to Yonsao. Comes through, doesn't quite get the bite on the rear tyres he had been hoping for, and running down an uphill we go then. We'll hook the pit wall once again. Just run that white line super close, and Vader goes to the line, and it's P3 quickly beaten. It goes back up to P2 again. No, it goes to pole, excuse me, by 4.5 of a second. 8 minutes 40 have elapsed. Things are really kicking on here as Beregoz, the next driver to keep on running. Where is Beregoz at the moment? He's currently P1 on track, at least for me. I wonder if he's heading in towards the pit lane or just cooling the tyres, trying to get another fast lap out of them here. It may be that he's fuel limited. It may be that he is just tyre limited. I don't think they're allowed to refuel in qualifying. You'll have to correct me on that one. J.O. Heskis is cheering on Vader, who has the fastest time at the moment, a 1:15.2. Absolutely astonishing. Senor Dude goes quickly up into 9th place as we watch Vicinity picture in picture, but this is a slower lap at this point, and another slow lap has elapsed. We've got Arya and Bedstein Mario coming out of the pits. This looks like Beregoz heading into the pits. This is Arya then in P4. Might be trying to get a cheeky toe on the back of the mega racing car of Vicinity. Does try. It's not all quite there. This new paint scheme is changing colour as we watch it, as we hug that pit wall once again, and Arya goes into, stays P4 I should say, 36 thousandths of a second only separating him and Bolide. So it is Vader, Beregoz, Bolide, Arya at this stage. No one going a great deal faster right now. We've got Woe Grizzle marked as off the circuit. Not quite sure what happened with him. Let's have a look then. This is Woe Grizzle. Yes, he's definitely off the circuit. So we do know he's so far off the circuit we can't see him here. We do know that Hector is working in that respect. Soul Shock I think goes into 4th place. I'm just having a look for Mario because Mario appears to be on an outlap. But I think this is too little too late. The outlap, it's 10 minutes and 47 seconds that have elapsed, so he would have to be crossing the line before the 10-minute point, which was alongside Yank the Tank, and he can't go any quicker at this stage. Vader, Beregoz, half a second separating them, but Vader, we have found out Vader is not infallible by any means at all, so it is Vader on top, and this is him. And let's have a look then at the livery in detail. Shades of Dark Side Racing from last season. Really does make a few elements of this stand out beautifully. You can see the lightsaber a little bit more refined than last time. The strip down the centre of the car. Very nice indeed. I was going to give you a Kimi's car. Have a look. You can see we've got some new cancer support ribbons on the cars. You can just see it there on the shark fin of Vicinity's Team Mega car. Thanks to Vicinity for adding those to his car this time round. I think all of our Kimi's cars, annoyingly, there was Fight Cancer is on the on Senor Dude's car as well. So terrific to see. We're really getting behind that cause at the moment. I'm just trying to find everybody on track. The Yam-placked cars looking beautiful in the sunshine once again. We are expecting a fairly cloudy day, but a warm day nonetheless here in Interlagos. Yeah, that's where things sit at the moment. Yellow flag for everybody as they're heading on in. It is Vader who has the fastest lap overall in this qualifying session, 1:15.217. Tremendous start for him. Here we have, this is Arya's car then. We should probably have a closer look here. We also have a Fight Cancer message, and then this colour change is quite something. Depending on which direction the sun is in, it is a pearlescent purple. It is a kind of a gold colour as well. Ignore this. This is not real. Trust the standings that you just saw on screen that I failed to take a screenshot of, which I was hoping to, but I do know that Vader was fastest. We've got our usual suspects at the head of the field. So I'll be waiting for an update on our time to go on the circuit in the lobby here. Meanwhile, let's make sure, shall we? I wonder if anybody is going to head out on track to entertain us. Perhaps the safety car driver will, but we'll see if anyone feels so inclined. Just waiting to check in on the group chats everywhere, see if I can hear any new information for you. We are expecting a mix of 1, 2, and 3 stops potentially today. It really is anybody's guess here. If the hard tyres are used, it's possible to get a single set of mediums home, as far as we know from testing. But many different opportunities to make strategy work today. Just trying to see if anyone feels like getting out on track at the moment. Not so. But yes, it was about 27 degrees when I saw it last on the forecast for today's race. But I was expecting a few more clouds in the sky. We did have those earlier on for our run. We've also got a northwesterly wind of 5.3 meters per second. That should be okay for the drivers. The times when they are most at risk are braking heavily very late for optimal grip into turn 1, and it's actually a headwind, so they'll be able to go even further, even later on the brakes, because the wind effect will be adding to downforce and the braking effect as well. We've got 10 minutes for the grid, so that is where we stand with our run. See, I wonder if anyone is out there. Yeah, someone is going to go trackside. There we go. Thank you, Yank. I appreciate Yank for getting out and allowing. Okay, forget that. No, we've got to set the grid here. So Yank could press go, and that's how things stood. So 53 laps around Interlagos. It's great to have everybody with us today. I hope that you're able to stick with us, but there is time now to go grab a drink or a snack. Make sure you are back though in about 8 minutes time, no later, please. I was thinking possibly about showing something else on stream. How about we look at so I was thinking about the end of the previous race possibly, but we don't have a kind of highlights show at the moment. We are looking for video editors in the community at the moment. We've been receiving lots of support from you all. Really thankful to anyone who has been willing to donate their hard-earned cash to keep the league running. It is very well received, but don't stop. We still need your support. There are 3 different monthly payment tiers you can opt for, or you can simply give a one-off payment. Likewise, you can do the same for me on my channel. But today, obviously, we're here on our SVR Racing channel, the exclusive home of the fantastic VR Sim Racing World Championship, and I do see more subscribers coming on SVR Racing, but hopefully everybody watching today is getting the message and is doing everything they can to make sure that they are subscribing as much as possible. Hi to Carl Veloce Prez, and is cheering on Kimmy's, and that's brilliant. Ruth Cazalpe is cheering on Vader as well. Who else has support today? Please speak up. They love it when they watch this back and they can see the live chat. They can hear. Some drivers are even brave enough to consider listening into the commentary as they drive as well, albeit sort of 20-second delayed. But some drivers are tempted. Yeah, that's they love it if they can hear what's going on. I don't know how many of them have queued up kind of text to speech like I have on my my Adrian Newey streams. Red is cheering on Arya, and Pat, of course, for Ballo and Vicinity, Team Mega. Superstar of the AN division. I won't spoil the race for anybody, but has taken 3 podiums in the first 3 races, including 2 wins. Pat Finn. I've got Jailhouse Chris cheering on Vader and Senior Dude. Coach Dave for life. Okay. Let's hope Coach Dave continue as a sponsor beyond 2025. We do want to say a big thank you to our sponsors, Coach Dave, Brokaga, to Mega Transport, Jamplakt Interiors, to Delesi, to Kimmy's, and everybody that takes their time to invest. The Buxton Transport Service, of course, as well. These wonderful corporations who are willing to title sponsor our teams. If you would like to be part of the broadcast and provide the readies for our broadcast to run, then you absolutely can. We can get your name on screen, either in the scroll with the rest of the title sponsors or in your perfect pride of place at the top of the screen there, and you can be sponsored the entire time. Flash saying, as a driver, can you stream on YouTube or does it have to be Twitch? I believe for Hector to work it has to be Twitch, but you can stream a low quality low FPS stream after Twitch and do YouTube on a second device if you want to, but I think that Hector will only at this stage work with Steam. Thanks for the question. I'm happy if anyone has better information than me to give that clue and to tune in. So, tell you what, I've also just do want to get you the driver intros ready, as the drivers are getting ready. So, start 1 minute. In fact, I'm going to be slightly late, I think. Well, that's a bit bad of me, isn't it? Let's go back here. That was absolutely perfectly timed by complete luck on my part. It is time to go racing then for the feature race of round 4 of the SVR S1 Championship. This is where the fastest drivers in our division go to hunt for trophies. It is 5 lights on and it's drop the clutch and go, and Vader wiggling away gets a good initial bite and it looks like Beregoz who is struggling. Arya screaming into potentially 3rd position, but Boliday round the outside turns into the inside and gets into 3rd place. Arya with a huge snap but a big rescue on his way through the first few corners. Looks like we haven't had any major incidents or accidents at the start of the race, but let's have a look then as Vicinity goes for an opportunity down the inside of Soulshock. It's not happening, as then Mario is on the defensive trying to hold off the stick, and then Soulshock himself as well, and there goes Mario on his way through. That is a 1 second penalty off throttle for Mario. Must have been off circuit early doors, and running down through the order. Then we've got Scavi QT and Jogon Sim at the back of the grid. Vader is at the head of the field. Beregoz is in second, with Bolide Faye in third position. There's a medium tyres on all of our top 4 drivers so far. The Stig is the first of the drivers with the hard tyres on. As we run then through, we've got Bedstein Mario mediums, Soulshock mediums as well. Medium is the preferred race tyre, I believe, for today, but that gives you the best opportunity then to continue with the rest of the strategy options later on. The Stig is basically being the cork in the bottle at this point, as Soulshock plays defensive. Yang the Tank going for the move down the, sorry, that's Vicinity round the outside of Arya. Of Soulshock, excuse me, and they following behind Stig, who has those hard tyres on, but Vicinity then has to play defensive. He's opened the door here to Soulshock, who goes down the inside, down the middle. He'll try and break earlier. Vicinity, though, breaking on the ideal racing line, and it's the switchback with a little bit of a touch, but Vicinity back into 6th place ahead of Soulshock. Vader still leads Beregoz and Bolide Faye in our fantastically international VR Sim Racing World Championship here. Vader leading. It's lap 2 of 53. We've had no real heroics into the first lap, which is fantastic to see. Let's maybe take a quick look at the start once again. Certainly the first few corners. I want to see what might have happened with Mario, because he did seem to have an issue picking up a 1-second penalty. This is a replay, as he is super close to the back of Soulshock. Does he brake too late? I think he does. Oh, actually there was a little bit of contact there, and he picked up an extra penalty just to add insult to injury. So down in the order at the moment he goes. Let's join. Well, we've got Vicinity making a move then on the Stig. They are side by side on the way through here. Let's have another look at that then. Here comes Vicinity with a great slipstream and using the overtake button. We've got Stig on the inside here. He needs to make this move because the Stig's on the hard tyres. He doesn't know that unless he's been able to get the information from Hector. Down the inside as everything gets a bit caught up. I'm just trying to work out who that was. I think it was Soulshock making the contact in the end behind Vicinity, and he did profit from it in the end. Look, he's got up into 5th position. The Stig down to 7th now, and trying to hang on to these hard tyres, which that half-second penalty is going to hurt his chances, no doubt. Let's ride with Yank the Tank. I know a big fan favourite here, and I'm glad that Sir Grinch is enjoying it as well, as Kaisha is also cheering on Brokaga here. But it's Vader leading Beregoz ahead of Bolide Faye, looking for a nice close battle at the moment. This is Vicinity on the back of Soulshock. Vicinity chasing him down, as you can see. Then Stig going down in the order once again, thanks to that penalty he was just paying. So the Yank went to make the move, went through cleanly. Vicinity half a second behind Soulshock. We've got an even closer battle going on right here, though. This is Mario chasing Yank. You've got picture in picture behind him, the Stig in 9th place now, thanks to paying that penalty. Here comes Bedstein Mario, not using the overtake button, getting a good run though on the way through the Curva del Sol into the Ciudad del Lago we go. Very clean overtake from Mario that time, and the redemption arc begins here for Mario after receiving a little bit of contact and a penalty on lap 1. But Vicinity then hot on the heels of Soulshock. Vader leads Beregoz, Bolide Faye, Arya, Soulshock, Vicinity. This is lap 4 of the 53 here in the S1 division, the very top tier, and that looks to be, unfortunately, that is Bedstein Mario off the circuit again. Let's have a closer look at what happened. We go into the Pinerino corner. Did we pick up too much curb? No, it's just snap oversteer. It's just too early on the throttle, and we go fully into the grass. Unfortunately, with got plenty of room to rejoin the race, but unfortunately for him, down in the order, and that is a bit heartbreaking for Bedstein Mario. Flat spotted his mediums early on, and now it's Grizzle cheering on, and I'm afraid for Kaisha the Pixels or Jazzy Beats here, that Brokaga now in 12th and 13th position. Jogon Sim is down in 14th at this point, but on the medium tyres, At the head of the field, Beregoz is chasing down Vader. 1.6 seconds between these two drivers. Remember, the top 4 are all on the same starting tyre, but that medium tyre, we're kind of expecting the medium tyre to run something between 22 and 27 laps in total at a performance level anyway that they'll be happy to go for. Senior Dude back up a place, says Jailhouse Chris. He's watching Senior Dude's stream, I'm sure, as we sit with Yank the Tank's stream for the time being. Let's cut over to QT though, who is half a second behind Scavvy in the battle for 11th. That's picture in picture. We'll stay at the moment though, perhaps with Arya in 4th place, who is just over 1 second behind Boliday Fate here, as the top 4 in both the race and the championship start to show their credentials and their underlying speed. Vicinity has worked hard. Soulshock unfortunately just caught that, as Soulshock then T-bones himself unfortunately on the way through the Estel Senna through curve 1, I think it was. Let's ride off board with him as we go down into the corner. Just a little bit too much curb, but these SF23s are so hard to wrestle control of once they start to go. Soulshock all the way down to 14th position after he was so helpful on our podcast talking to all the newbies about downforce, and I'm sure teaching the old hands a few things here and there as well. Thank him for giving away some of his secrets there. Oh, that looked like QT just being passed there from Bedsty Mario on picture in picture I just saw. Perhaps we might be able to catch that in the replay buffer. That was QT just off circuit for a moment. Bedsty Mario didn't need a second invitation to go down the inside into the SA corner and taking that position there nicely. So Hector working beautifully for me. I'm hoping he's working beautifully for you as well. Let's see what Beregoz, the creator of Hector, is talking to Hector about. Not a thing is he talking to Hector about. We had a problem there for the transponder for a moment, but he hasn't asked him anything at this stage, and we don't need to necessarily show you anything too big, too important on the stream at the moment. I don't see any pit stop strategies coming through right now, but that's where we'll see. We'll just have a quick tour, shall we, of who is talking to Hector. Well, Boliday Fate isn't either, unfortunately. This is him on picture in picture as he chases down Beregoz, and probably a little bit early to be looking at all of that. Let's go to Scavvy, who is in 9th place, chasing Senor Dude's 8th place at the moment. Great midfield battle going on here. That is Senor Dude in 8th, Scavvy in 9th. In front of them we've got Yank, and I think that's Jamplak's car of the Stig. It is on the hard tyre, so it's the Stig holding everybody up here on those hard tyres. The hards we're expecting to run somewhere in the region for 29 to 36 laps, absolute maximum there, we think. But it is only lap 8. Lots of weaving going on down the straight, and that is the Stig defending heavily from Yank the Tank on the way in to the Estel Senna. Can Yank get a better exit, I wonder, coming out of the Curva do Sol? And he does so, I think. He's tempted to use the overtake button, I'm sure, but taking that checker pattern, Bergstein, teal and white through the Decido del Lago, and still following the Stig. Vicinity's in 5th, thanks to, unfortunately, Soulshock heading down the order at this point. We've got Senor Dude there in 8th place, Scavvy just behind him. As you continue to watch Ballo Faye's stream, Boliday, Ballo, same person, just different sides of the same coin, I think, perhaps. As the beautiful Bergstein car, as Bedsty Mario goes very wide, but rescues it out on the marbles. Will dirty up his tyres a little bit, unfortunately. Nicky's cheering on Yank the Tank as well as he runs through. That's Yank trying to get the best slipstream, get the best line going into the next few corners. We've got Mario and Scavvy side by side though. Let's Let's see, is Scabby using any boost? No, it's actually Mario using the boost to try and hold him off. That's a move from Senor Dude on Scabby as well. Here comes Mario coming through. Mario making the move stick, and so I think did Senor Dude on that run as well. So Senor Dude ahead of Mario, Scabby ahead of QT, and everybody still following the Stig. So it's still Yank the Tank who needs to break the hold up here. That is the Stig on the hard tyres. Nearly everybody has gone for the mediums to start the race. Gives them a flexible, good option here as they run through. That is Jogon Sim in 13th, Solshock down in 14th. He's put on new medium tyres though. And Vader continues to lead the race ahead of Beregoz and Bolide Faye that you've been watching picture in picture this whole time. Of course, the drivers start on very heavy cars and trying to make the tyres last. This is Beregoz defending heavily from Bolide. So it is, we've got essentially Coach Dave leading from Delesi from Team Mega at this point in the proceedings. That is a fastest first sector by a 1/10 of a second from Beregoz this time, lap 10 of 53. Hope you're enjoying it so far. Let me hear your predictions. I haven't heard anybody's predictions just yet. Betsy Mario and Senor Dude are swapping positions. Let's try and find that particular battle, shall we? Here we go. This is Mario and Senor Dude in the black and red. Sort of stealing the colour scheme from Team Mega here. He gets a good switchback going, and then it was follow my leader through the first part of the Estel Senna. Oh, okay. That was uncomfortable for a moment, wasn't it? But they did swap and then swap back again. So Senor Dude still holding on. What great battle this is at this point. You can keep an eye on the battle for the lead, and you can shout up in live chat as well if you wish to, and let me know what's happening. But I will stay with this midfield battle at this time. Yank the Tank is right there with the Stig still. Hasn't used a lot of his boost. Wants to make the pass cleanly. Wants to save the boost for as long as possible. But you've got to start thinking it's time to get a hurry up. And it's almost like he can read my mind, or I'm reading his mind. Is probably more likely as he hits the overtake button. Then the Stig isn't using his. So Yank the Tank needed that boost to get all the way down the outside into the first corner, and thankfully for him, the medium tyres gripping in at the last possible second, and he gets himself into 6th place, much I'm sure to the gratitude of the Buckstein Transport Service team and fans. But look at this coming back from the Stig. Oh, Yank the Tank. Well, that was the most egregious Verstappen line through Desierto del Lago, but thankfully the Stig braked that little bit earlier and undercut Yank the Tank. So the job has to be done all over again then for Yank the Tank, who outbraked himself hugely into Desierto del Lago. Thankfully, didn't make contact on the way through the corner. I'm surprised to see very few drivers chatting with Hector at this stage. Hector, if you hear us talking about him and you're new to it, do ask the question. Hector is our engineer who operates via real language interaction with a bot who can give us answers to what's going on. When we're wearing our VR headsets, it is absolutely valuable. Sparking their way through the main straight here, over the start-finish line. Stig still defending heavily, and surely now that is 16.6 seconds the gap between 5th and 6th position, because not only is Stig on the hard tyre, but he is having to hold off these drivers, and it is costing everybody a huge opportunity then to try and feature in the top 5 later on. Vicinity is the first of those 5 drivers. He's on his own, but he'll be hoping that the top 4 start to tangle, or at least slow each other a little bit, as Vicinity is not out of the picture for potential podium today, depending on how the strategies cope. You can see the Stig has got Nope written on his rear wing, and that is certainly the message today from the Amplak driver, starting on the hard tyres and then just holding everybody off. Fantastic driver skill here to not just hold the drivers off, but also to regain positions when they initially looked like they were lost. He wasn't panicking. This is then on board with Yank the Tank. Can we do it again? We spent a lot of overtake on the previous lap. We haven't quite got into the right proximity here of the back of the Stig. So let's see if he can make it work. Down we go into Curve 1, and again it's not happening for Yank the Tank at this stage. The leader is still Vader ahead of Beregoz, but only a second and a half separate them. A further second back is Bolide Fate with Arya 1.5 seconds further back. Vicinity is 9 seconds away from 4th place, but some 17.2 seconds now away from this midfield. Terrific war going on between the Stig, Yank, Senya Dude, Bedsty Mario, QT, and I think no, Scabby's a little bit further away from that as QT gets a little flag on his name, and I was just calling out QT, and unfortunately he has dropped down the order. Where was he? Let's try and find him. This is QT as he goes through Veradora, Laranjinya, and he just on that curb once again. Boom, and into the barrier, unfortunately for him, and that has dropped him down to 13th position, and he's picked up some significant damage. It's not the end of the world. There's plenty of racing left to go for the number 95, and let's see if he decides now to pit and change perhaps onto the hard tyres, fill up the tank with fuel. I think that is what is coming. So 13th place for QT, very much plan B, but that's the plan anyway, as Soulshock, who likewise has made a pit stop already, didn't fill the tank with fuel and went onto the medium tyres. QT fairly certain he would have to use the hard tyres, I think, today, but I think at this point, lap 14 of 53, I think that is on the bubble. That is right. Well, you have to conserve tyres a little bit to make the hards run. I don't know if he'll get the fuel all the way to a finish. No, he's decided another set of mediums then. Doesn't want to use the hard tyres and run super fat with fuel to a full tank. I think it was just outside of the 36 lap window that we think the hard tyres will go on a full tank of fuel to the end of the race. So we are knocking on the door of that time right now. And talk about knocking on the door. Well, Beregoz is close to Vader, but Bolide Fate is closing in on Beregoz himself as well as they run into that Decido del Lago corner. Next, they run through, and Nikki cheering on Yank again. I can see. Let's get any questions or queries or anything that you're noticing while watching the Twitch streams at the moment. I'm just seeing Senor Dude having a problem. What's happening with Senor Dude? Where is he on track? Need to find him. Here he is. So, oh, he's got into the pits. That's a relief. So into the pits he goes, and that is back out then onto the circuit momentarily. I'm assuming that was in fact a planned pit stop for Senor Dude, but a little ways off yet, I imagine. Our medium runners, Vader ahead of Beregoz, Bolide Fate, and Arya. Just want to remind myself about Vicinity's pit strategy. He started also on the mediums. Everybody in a similar position. Little snap of oversteer there for Vicinity as he exits Yun Sao corner. But the gap's roughly equal between the front four. Not much in the way of excitement happening down there, I'm afraid, at this point. So let's focus on this midfield battle. Now Yank the Tank has Mario right behind him, and Yank is now pushing because Mario's got closer, and there he goes, easily breezes through past the Stig using that overtake. The Stig also then using the overtake to try and catch back again. The Stig is just not happy not being in the front of everybody, and Yank the Tank with a huge skid on the way through the corner. I will just save a replay buffer point, but let's stay with this live at the moment as the Stig runs through and down into, well, it's going to be the Stig it's going to be Yank the Tank that loses out from that battle, and that was just too much going on to call as the Stig ran wide, puts himself back into 7th place, and then we've got Mario clicking into 8th position at this point. Let's try and catch that skid again from Yank as we run through. What happened here? I think he was caught on the outside of the corner and then braking late. Whoa, yeah. Shades of Jenson Button 2009 when he did that when overtaking a car. I seem to remember. He claimed later on that that was a deliberate manoeuvre to try and stop the driver from coming back at him. That is yet to be proven. But the Stigger then in 6th place again. The Stigger's picked up the position once again as it looks like what has happened to Yank the Tank. Yank is down to 11th. Where is he and what has happened to Yank? Where is he? Here he is. I don't know. We didn't catch that in the replay. Unfortunately, Yank the Tank down in the order. He's now pitting. And has he got damage? He has. He's hit the front of the car heavily. So Yank down in the order. That looks like Vader then has now dropped as well. That's huge from Vader. Vader's got damage and has slipped off the circuit. Once again, you just see the back end of that accident. That's a really unusual one, but there is a car also off in the background. So let's just catch the start of that again. Back to live we go. Let's see if I can see what happened. He was certainly wide, but Vicinity was off in the background at the same time for Team Mega. I am very confused by that, but it has lit up this race again. Once again, that's rear wing and rear left damage. They are starting to pass drivers here at this stage. I wonder if that had anything to do with Vader's issue, but Vader down to 4th place then, and that handing the lead to Beregoz, the Delesi driver. Vader catching the Buxton car. I think that's Yank the Tank, who's just pitted, and Vader continues to push hard despite the fact that he's in a damaged car on the exit of that curb. I don't think I ever risked a lap over there in practice, and Vader is here just pushing like hell. That's Arya off the circuit now. It is that time of the race when the mistakes start to creep in. What was this from Arya as he heads into SA corner? Next is the Pinorino. Everything looking normal, and then snap, and the front of the car getting hit hard. And I wonder, will that trigger a pit stop then from him, as the front wing is used very heavily around here. Try and get the car into the corners, and into the pit lane he comes. Like I said before, we are right on the bubble of the hard tyre strategy here. Vader lost the car but has stayed in touch here with the top 3. He's 3 seconds away. He was leading, but now it's Beregoz who runs through. Arya's in the pits at the moment if you're worried about him going down the order. That blue P next to his name indicating that he's in the pit lane, and I wonder will he put in a full tank of fuel and try and run to the end of the race with essentially a large proportion of our race still to go. 33 laps is achievable. Maybe 34 it will be, but it's achievable through the remainder of our race on the hard tyres. But he will be slow for a long period of time. Will it be that he can make this run? No, he has opted against the medium tyres, just half a tank of fuel, another set of medium tyres for him. Completely free options for the tyres. They have to change, well, I'm told they have to change compound, but I thought it was completely free, the option for the tyres. Into the pits comes Vader now. He's not happy, I think, with the subsequent damage from going off once again. Feels like he's losing time. Let's see what happens here. It's a question as whether they could get a full tank of fuel to the end of the race. I think they probably can at this point. But Bolide Faye leads our race. Let's go back to, should we choose a different driver to go picture in picture, perhaps, as Vicinity passes. I was going to go with Vader or Arya, but unfortunately I don't have access to their Twitch streams at this current time. Scavvy might be worth watching though. Not far away here from Stig. And this is Bolide, our new leader of the race. Hasn't hit the car on a barrier, hasn't gone off circuit that we've seen so far, and now has a lead of 3.3 seconds. So there must have been an issue for Beregoz on that previous lap. Unfortunately, I'll see if I can catch it, but I don't think it would have happened in the last 30 seconds. No, he was already in second position then. So Bolide Fate, after being in third for so long, has just made fewer mistakes and is holding on to now the provisional lead of our race. 20 laps down, 33 to go. And it is anybody's, it seems, at this stage, with the mistakes creeping in. Vicinity into third position, hasn't pitted yet. Neither have the two drivers in front of him. Vader and Arya have, and they are now quite close together, as we can see on screen, because Arya is 1.3 seconds behind Vader. And both opting for that medium tyre strategy on almost identical fuel loads. It's almost like they're reading each other's mind or are convinced that this is the right way to run the race. Nobody but the Stig at this point actually trying the hard tyres. The Stig 42 seconds off the lead. Now the Stig is one of the fastest drivers out there, but that is perhaps not working for him at this stage. If the other drivers decide to take the hards, obviously they will take the pain or more pit stops. I think he's going to try and one-stop this hard to medium tyres. Remember, he'll be looking for an opportunity between 22 and 27 laps from home. That's still a ways to go then for the Stig. We're not even at half distance yet. Bolide Fay leading Beregoz, Vicinity and Vader, with Arya in 5th place ahead of the Stig. Scabby is in 7th place here. And Grizzle doing a good job at this time in that P8. Mario pits from, is now in 10th, comes out of the pits in that 10th position. New set of medium tyres. I think everybody's just doing the same thing here. All the practice that they've gone through, all the strategic options available to them, and they just keep putting medium tyres and half a tank of fuel on the cars. So fabulous projections here from everybody. I just want to see what the Stig is up to. Let's have a look at his fuel plan here, shall we? So this is the fuel consumption for the Stig. This is projecting that he is going to reach lap 49 potentially before his fuel runs out. I don't think he'll be quite going to lap 49 unless he wants to fit soft tyres right at the very end. But we reckon his fuel will last him all the way to lap 49, so very little refueling needed for anybody, I think, at this point. But that's quite astonishing from the Stig. I think most people are in a similar situation. Let's look for a close battle for you. I think we've got Arya then in 5th, chasing Vader. Arya has the fastest lap of 16.6. No points are available for fastest lap with the boost here, at least from my latest information anyway. Just reassure me, folks, that the live chat is working. I know we're in a little bit of a large gap situation. I was actually missing that. So Rent's saying, what are the mandatory options? So I believe the mandatory option is to change compound, but no mandatory tyre. So they must change compound, but it looks to see like everybody is using the mediums as much as possible. I thought, previous information I got, that we had free tyre choice, but I think that just means any of the 3 available dry tyres. As Stormborn says, no fastest lap point is correct. Thank you very much, Stormborn. As the Stig continues in 6th place, 18 seconds away from Arya as well. Now the pit stops coming into plan, the plan A pit stops, I think. Essentially, Scavvy, Grizzle, both into the pits at this point. So you watch the Stig trying to float this car on icy hard tyres, and Arya 1.2 seconds away from Vader. Vader's aggression has been tamed somewhat, but he is passing a lapped car. That is a Team Mega car. Beregoz now pits. Finally, the medium tyres have given up on Beregoz. Let's have a look what state they were in. Yeah, they were probably 70% worn on the front left. Front left takes a lot of beating through Ferradura and Laranjinha here at the moment. Vicinity is in 4th place, so that wasn't a lap going on from Vader. That was, and Arya gets a little bit muscular going past Vicinity as well. I'm not sure Vicinity will care for that, but newer tyres against older tyres here. Vicinity driving to the disadvantage at this stage, but that is then Beregoz out, and Arya didn't get past Beregoz with the undercut. Vader did. Now, Vader had to repair the car as well. Has a completely fully functioning car at this stage, and has undercut Beregoz despite the early pit stop. However, for Vader, I think he will still have to stop earlier down Beregoz before they reach the finish. Jailhouse Chris cheering on Vader. Stormborn, can you help me out with the requirement? Is it absolutely no tyre requirement, or is it that they have to have used 2 compounds? Please give me that info if you possibly can, or anybody else who knows things a little bit better than us. Beregoz on softs. Yes, Beregoz is on soft tyres here, and that is confirmed, Rens. So Beregoz switching to the soft tyres for a short run here. I don't think that, no, there's no way the soft tyres will go home. The maximum range is 15 laps on fumes for him. Bolide fave pits, and he's gone onto soft tyres as well. So I wonder whether Bolide is running medium, soft, medium, and so is Beregoz, and he comes out of the pits just behind Beregoz, and it is absolutely on here. Vader, your new leader. Beregoz second, and Bolide fave on third position. So they had the opportunity to extend past Vader's projected final pit stop potentially, and there he goes as Phil and Stormborn confirming 2 different compounds must be used. They are certainly Beregoz and Bolide have gone onto the soft tyres, just getting those up to temperature. Bolide, Arya is on the mediums as he has been from the start, although he's changed set. He's still on the same compound he started with, so presumably running medium, medium, soft, and Beregoz, Bolide, Fate running medium, soft, medium. But this strategy is not going to work if they stay behind and in Vader's wake. So the challenge then is on, because Beregoz needs to use the overtake button. He needs to try and get past Vader, who has stopped using the overtake button in response, I think. Knows that Beregoz can't pass at this point. Bolide Fate sweeping round very late apex for Bolide, so leaning on the new tyres, perhaps a little bit too much as they run through. Yes, to finish what I was going to say, essentially, Beregoz and Bolide have to make this stint work. They need to build a gap, because Vader and Arya will be fast later on those soft tyres, so it is crucial. Why is QT here? Because he's left the race, I believe, unfortunately. So QT, please give us some info as to what happened to your race and why the disconnection. Unfortunately, it looks like the Stig just cut out for a second there, didn't he? But thankfully, we're back with action from the Stig. Let's cut to Grizzle picture in picture as we watch these absolute titans of S1 challenge here. Vader, half a second only ahead of Beregoz. Trying to use, Vader using a little bit of overtake here to get up the hill to start the stint. That looks like Bolide Fay has had a problem. Bolide Fay has suddenly lost time to Arya. So let's have a look as he turns in to Yun Sao. Are we going to get a snap? Oh, it was a penalty to pay. It was a penalty. That's why Arya's been able to get through past. So unfortunately for him, it's not happening at this stage. But Beregoz still just 1.1 seconds away from Vader at the head of this field. Perhaps the challenge of Arya and Bolide Fate fading away here at this stage. Beregoz is pushing Vader to tremendous pace levels as vicinity pits right now. Red and Stormborn, we're still here to get some info from QT as to what happened to his race when he's ready to tell us. If there is a significant delay, it may be that it was a bin situation. Let's hope not, as Vicinity now exits the pits. He's still in 6th place. Vader less than a second ahead of Beregoz here. Beregoz on the soft tyres. Vader, will he be using any overtake to get up the hill this time? No. He's built the gap sufficiently. And as I say, Beregoz is needing to get by here to challenge for the win later on, because whatever happens, there will be a difference in tyre and Vader will have the advantage in speed overall. Seven says, how do you get into this league? We will give you a link, but you must be a VR driver. This is the VR exclusive Sim Racing World Championship here on GT7. So as Nikki says, join us on Discord. We've got lots of friendly folk here to help us. Stormborn saying, usual suspects at the top again. Absolutely, they absolutely are. The Stig, though, is now has gained on the leaders a little through the pit stop, but it is still 35 seconds. He is starting on those hard tyres, so it's not working too well. Biggerwood asking, what tyres is Vicinity on? Why does Biggerwood want to know that? Because the Stig is his main rival at this point, the Stig being a fellow Jan-placked car. The Vicinity has also gone on to the soft tyres, medium soft, and I'm guessing medium or possibly another set of softs to finish the race then for Vicinity, who was later to change than his rivals. So Vicinity on soft tyres behind Stig, still on the hard tyres that he's had since the start of this race. Can he go all the way to lap 49, as his fuel load suggests he can, and fit softs for the final 4 laps? We'll see. Now it's half a second between these two at the head of the field. Keep an eye on that gap though, Vicinity to the Stig, and shout up if you see anything happening. That's Woke Grizzle with a problem. Woke Grizzle down in 7th. Where are we? Sorry, folks. I've lost Woke Grizzle. There he is. Right, let's try that again. Something happened to Woke Grizzle as he comes through. I wonder if these two in front tangle, perhaps, but Woke Grizzle running on. Does he then lose positions, or this was actually after he lost positions, unfortunately. Let's see if we can see what happened to Grizzle. So there was an issue for the car behind. That was Scabby, and Grizzle actually made up places. But then do we get out of shape here, perhaps? We run out of room, and it is spin, it is snap, and it is a tank slapper. But he does. I was going to say doesn't hit the barrier, but unfortunately he did. So with Grizzle, lots going on in that exchange, as Beregoz is 7/10 of a second now away from Vader's only, and behind them they were just passing another driver. I think that's a Buxton car, not in the battle for the top 4 at this stage of proceedings. So QT saying it was an engine problem. Okay, so made the call, unfortunately, to retire the car. This is Beregoz passing teammate Joe for a lap being added. So one less lap for Joe to have to run. I'm not sure if he'd be glad of that or not. But yeah, sorry to lose QT. So we do hope that QT can find a way to participate in these races and it not be incredibly stressful. It's the Stig and Vicinity fighting hard. Let's try and catch that again. It looks like the Stig, they were side by side momentarily. This is the Stig coming through Curva del Sol. And no, Vicinity had already got by and then was slow away. This is the Stig's classic revenge move here, and actually ended up running himself too wide, but I thought he was going to get that place back for a moment. But Vicinity then safely into 5th place, now on the soft tyres, can start to work his way to try and catch Boliday, his teammate, who is 36 seconds up the road. That doesn't seem right. Why the blue flag driver's not giving way is a good question from Stormborn. I believe, I can't remember if it was SVR or a different league that I'm in that have just cancelled the blue flags. Whoa, dear me. Things are getting a little bit testy here at the moment as Arya is struggling. We've got Boliday Faye making contact there as they try to get through. Joe saying they don't have to immediately. But I can't remember if it was SVR or a different league I'm in who've decided to cancel the blue flag requirement for lap drivers to get out of the way. I think it might be SVR. These are the kind of things I need to try and memorise, unfortunately. But Joe Chris, yeah, thank you. Vader. So Joe Chris thinks it's a 4-corner situation, which is a 3 blue marshal flag, 4-corner situation as in FIA F1 rules. So no one else is piping up at this stage. Arya in P3 and Boliday Fate in P4. Now they're trying to get past their previous rival Beregoz's teammate Joe. And they're going to have to spend some of their boost here, I think, because I think Joe might be on some good tyres at this stage, although he runs wide. Boliday Fate goes down the inside run. This is the battle at the head of the field, as we have been enjoying for much of the race. Let's cut to Yenk, who is right on the tail of Jogon Sim. This is them on track, I think. No, it's not. But Yenk is definitely in the wheel tracks of Joe, trying to get onto that 10th place. In fact, let's go have a look at what's going on with these two, because Yenk the Tank is on fairly aged mediums and Joe is on very old softs. So this is a battle between two cars who have no grip whatsoever. So that's why things are ebbing and flowing dramatically between the two of them. Joe picking a penalty, and that makes life very easy then for Yenk, who makes the pass. So that was in the end resolved. Beregoz still hasn't got past Vader. It's not happened, and Vader will be running those mediums fairly long. Softs something between lap 9 and lap 50. Laps on the softs potentially 9 to 15 maximum. Excuse me. Joe has gone to find the rule book and is pasting them in. It's not that specific. He says you must safely move aside. Penalties apply. Right. Okay. So patterns being spotted here a little bit. I think Stormborn thinking about maybe that a penalty might need to be requested from the stewards. I'm not sure it's going to profit the race by a great deal for Kimi's racing team, but it should be good to try and promote safe and proper racing etiquette, which is what we're all about here. Absolutely. So Vader is 1 second only ahead of Beregoz, who is now using that overtake button again. Vader is doing likewise, as we have 20 laps to go, as they just click over, the leaders just click over the start-finish line. It's going to be a long old night of racing here today, especially for those of us who are here and raced earlier on today. Shout out Stormborn and Pat Finn, of course. Vicinity was engineering as well earlier for the AN crew of Team Mega. Vader 1.2 seconds ahead of Beregoz, with Arya 5.3 further back. Arya versus Boliday Fay might be the one to watch though at this stage as they navigate traffic, and Boliday tries to get through and past. Hear the off-throttle rattle through the exhaust here as they go around the Buckstein Transport Service car. Tries his level best to get out of the way. Apologies for the commercial break. I don't think I can actually skip out of that. I think it will just stay because we're watching Twitch for so long. There we go, back on with Yenk the Tank and Boliday following through then. Let's have a look at projected pit stop pit feature then for the pit estimate for Vader. How does that actually come out? That's not working. Pit estimate. I know what that is. Should be on the contextual line. This is that's Beregoz into the pits finally then. So that's broken up the issue then between the drivers. Vader, let's have a look at his fuel consumption. This shows that Vader will get his car to a finish to lap 53 on his current fuel load. So he's going to save a lot of time in the pits at the moment, heading through as the drivers go through and past Boliday. They now pass, I think that is Mario in the 53, who got out of the way very, very nicely indeed. But Vader leads at the moment from Arya. Looks like the drivers with roughly equitable levels of fuel. Beregoz has added a little bit of fuel just in case, but he hasn't overfueled dramatically. He's now on the medium tyres again, but he's got a 30.3 second deficit to Vader. Vader still yet to use his option tyre, which we expect to be the soft tyre now at this late stage of the race. He needs to go another 5 or 6 laps, I think, before that is comfortable. But targeting lap 40, I think, for the soft tyres at the end of the race, as will Arya presumably be doing the same. But Arya is probably out of contention here for the win if all things remain, you know, average lap times through to a finish now. If there are no mistakes or contact while lapping other cars. Vader's already made one fairly significant mistake today. So has Arya, but the race is so long that there is time to make up for those errors with your underlying pace. Bolide Fate is in 3rd place. Beregoz has the fastest lap of 15.7. Stig is on his only stop. I've been asked, yes, he's gone hard to medium. He couldn't take those hards all the way to lap 40 to use the softs, unfortunately. So yeah, he's now out on the medium tyres. 1 minute and 23 away from Vader, albeit with Vader and Arya, and I think Bolide with one more pit stop still to make. So it's not quite a fair representation from the Stig, but it still hasn't worked, I think, using the hard tyres for the bulk of the race distance. It may have been better to go for the hard tyres and then 2 sets of mediums and just use the hards like a set of medium in terms of their length, but who knows. It's definitely Monday morning race engineering, isn't it? It's Beregoz in P4 at this stage, 29.5 seconds, so those new medium tyres working nicely for him. So using the overtake as well, while he's got that clean air, that will mean he doesn't have that overtake to use later on in the race. It doesn't recover. There's no electrical recovery system on the cars. It is purely a battery that you start with a full battery and you end with whatever you haven't pressed. So yeah, there's lots of running still to go. Lap 37 of 53. Vader at the moment and Arya with Bolide Fate with a pit stop still to make ahead of Beregoz, who I think will certainly manage to skip on and undercut Bolide, but will Beregoz be able to stay ahead of Arya, for example, and mount a challenge to Vader's pace later on in the race? Let's catch up with the rest of the grid as Vicinity is running in 5th place. Very much no man's land here for Vicinity, but trying to bring home the bacon for Team Mega and continue Team Mega's terrific position in the combined standings at the moment in our 5 divisions of racing that we currently have. We are expecting to build more divisions to see our season out. Quite how your commentator is going to fit that in, I'm not exactly sure. We may not commentate a new G3 or a new G3. I don't think we're going to go to an S3, but a new G3 league potentially, or maybe something completely different. Who knows? Soulshock is in 6th place. Everyone just wants to race and wants to keep racing. It seems every 2 weeks is not enough for most of our drivers. Some of whom are skipping across between the GT and the single-seater. And there's plenty of community races as well midweek. So we usually race on a Wednesday and on a Saturday, just for fun or for research purposes for Hector in preparation for the forthcoming races. Say that it's important that you know that Hector doesn't happen by accident, and neither do these beautiful track maps and lap time counts and statistics that Beregoz and all of Team Hector, including Jogon Sim and Guillemot, are all working hard to provide for us as well. So big thank you to all of them for their terrific use of those systems that we have for you. Vader hasn't spoken to Hector once. Let's see, well, Arya has. He's asking about the gaps behind him. You can see on screen. He's asking, what's the gap behind? What's the gap ahead? He wants to know that information. Vader, very quiet. Bolide Fate into the pits now. Bolide pitting. And has he been interacting with Hector? No, and neither, ironically, has Beregoz. I find that very, very difficult to understand why Beregoz isn't making full use of even secret commands he could build into Hector. Soulshock, no communication with Hector either, but Bedsty Mario has been just asking for those gaps again, which Hector has been delivering for him throughout the course of the race. Yank picking up obviously blue flag, so is Senior Dude at this stage. Let's see if there are any small gaps happening at the moment. That was Yenk just disappearing. Oh, we're just struggling there for a moment. I will just refresh Hector and see if we can't get... Suddenly Tequila Monkey appears from out of nowhere. I do hope that that Hector hasn't just fallen over, because he does seem to be having difficulty now. That is problematic, unfortunately. Okay, so we managed 39 laps, but unfortunately looks like Hector has switched off for now. Oh, he's back. Brilliant. Okay. Fabulous. As Holiday Faye then. He has not been interacting, but here he is coming out of the pits. 10.3 seconds behind Beregoz now. You watch the Stig on main picture, and also Ballo or Boliday there in the picture as well. Now I'll go hunting for some action for you, although it is, I have to say, hard to find. Vicinity comes into the pits as well. He's run at the soft tyres briefly, and is now going to fit possibly another set of softs to finish. As Cutie says, silly Hector, did Arya crash Hector again by crashing too much? No, Arya hasn't, only crashed once. Grinch celebrating the return of Hector. Hector just can't understand why our reigning champion Tequila Monkey isn't here. I just wanted him back for a few moments to give him those props. Make sure as well that you're listening to the SVR podcast if you haven't caught up yet. I'm not saying this because they say kind words about me. I'm sure they'll lay into me at some point, especially about my driving, I imagine. Do tune into the SVR podcast. You can find it via Spotify, and if you can't find it, then ask one of our members and they will find it for you and pass it along. Here comes Beregoz to put a lap on the Buckstein Transport Service car. That was a nice bit of action to follow. But don't go anywhere for us, will you? Because all of these strategies will combine and close up the action later on in our race. It's lap 41 of 53. Vader is 10.7 seconds ahead of Arya. Both drivers still have a pit stop to make. Both have been on the medium tyres twice. Both, I think, are now struggling on those medium tyres, I would have to estimate. But don't forget, both of them have also made mistakes today. It is not nailed on for a podium until we get that checkered flag in sight. QT just giving me the title. SVR Into the Slipstream is the title of the podcast. Please, if any of our members, including QT, wants to drop a link into the chat, go right ahead. Into the pits comes Arya then for his final pit stop. We also have been hearing from our race winners in the race as well in the podcast. So that has been tremendous to get some info from them and their takeaway from it. Vader and Arya in the lead of the race. Beregoz passes Arya then as he comes through and gets a little bit of fuel. I don't imagine Arya needs a lot of fuel remaining in the race. It's probably a bit too late for me to show the fuel consumption there. But I thought he was due to finish with enough fuel. So just a little bit of safety on the fuel margin. Arya comes out of the pits just behind Holiday Faye. Well, that's great to see. So we're going to have two of our top drivers close to each other, hopefully not slowing each other down to the extent that Vader manages to pit and come out in front of them and drive off into the distance. Check out Beregoz's gap. It is 26 seconds. It's a neat thing I can show you actually on Hector here, which is the pit estimate. You look for the little bar, the little red bar that is showing on the screen. Unfortunately, it's not going to show. So pit estimate is not going to show for Vader, unfortunately. Well, that's because he's in the pits, perhaps. So into the pits comes Vader. Off the medium tyres. We think he presumably had enough fuel to finish as things stood, but he may put in a litre or two just to get himself safely home. Go back to Yenk, who is 1.5 seconds away from the lead from the 9th place of Scavvy. Here is Arya coming through. He is 1.4 seconds behind Holiday Faye. And we wait for Vader to come out of the pits, and I think he's going to come out 1.5 seconds only ahead of Beregoz. Brilliant. That's exactly what we want to see, although Vader is on the soft tyres, so Beregoz is on up to temperature medium tyres, 1.6 seconds away from Vader. I imagine Vader's going to be pushing very hard now to try and break the toe and break the hopes of Beregoz for taking the win. But if Beregoz can stay in the slipstream, then towards the end of the race he will have a tyre advantage in terms of the available grip. I think things looking a little bit safer for him, as then we have Arya on the new soft tyres, just behind Boliday Fate also, but on slightly older soft tyres that are going to have to go a fair old distance here. How is Yank doing? Well, he pitted and is back out again in 11th place, so that is no longer a close battle between himself. Let's cut. Or I could knock my headset off my head. But let's cut to picture-in-picture with Beregoz as he gets a, I think that's a personal best time, is it, for Beregoz? Well, certainly only 0.3 of a second away from his best. This is Arya on your main picture, catching Boliday. So I will cut to Beregoz for your picture-in-picture as well. As Scavvy drops down many places here at this point. Lucas is congratulating Empire for something. Is that for the podcast? But perhaps. So Pat Finn saying, if Vader and Beregoz take each other out, my prediction may become reality. Is that a Boliday Fate win, was your prediction? It may, but Arya is looking threatening here. He has a small amount of boost remaining, more so though than Boliday Fate. So there's still lots of drama to come. 9 laps remain. Arya setting a best of everybody middle sector to that point on lap 44 on the new soft tyres, using the overtake as well. Try and get in that slipstream as much as possible. Is this going to be Q a purple time from Arya? It's a personal best, but not a session best, unfortunately, from Arya. That's a 1:15.859. Plays Beregoz's 1:15.760. Man, it was close. As Hands of Blue is also cheering on Pat here. Not cheering on Pat, but cheering on Boliday, I think that is. But remember, Vader is leading the race. It is 3.2 seconds now between himself and Beregoz. That has opened at a very alarming rate. But we have Arya, main picture, having not long passed teammate Soulshock, just behind. They've been raiding the paint box of Gran Turismo to try and find this colour change scheme. I think. Let me know what you think about it. I personally prefer the static purple with every other colour that's on the car. I think having a plainer nose was slightly more appropriate. But if you like it, then shout up. If you are in disagreement with my assessment so far, it's that point where we're going to start talking about livery choices. I do appreciate everybody and all the designers, and especially for supporting the cancer charities and anti-cancer messages that the drivers have put on the cars recently as well. So full support and a fabulous community that we're part of, albeit despite the fact that we're now 500 members. So that is huge news and a massive milestone from something that began at the start of 2024. This fabulous league. Arya P4 racing just 5 tenths away from Boliday Fate here. Let's perhaps switch to Boliday's camera angle and see where Arya might go for it potentially here. Beregoz, his challenge is fading, you have to say, and it looks like Yenk is closing in on Scavvy. So 5 seconds the gap between Vader and Beregoz. Was it ever in doubt here? Well, yes, because it's possible that Vader makes a mistake, but the second mistake today. Here it is, to the outside, runs Arya for the overtake. This is what we've been waiting for. Oh, that is clumsy. It's very clumsy. at the apex. The apex is, I should say, and running through then. And that was a very old replay. My apologies. See if I can catch some of this in the replay. Yes, thankfully we've got enough of it to check out. Let's have a look then. This is Arya sweeping around the outside. It looked like he'd got it nailed on, but very late on the brakes was Boliday, and then they make contact once, twice, 3 times before Arya holds on for the overtake and into 3rd place provisionally. He's now 7 seconds away from Beregoz. He's got the soft tyres on here. Got a new person joining the lobby there for a moment. That's ill-advised at this stage. Big cut of the Pico de Paso corner. Passing some people discovering the new light above the driver's head, but yes, as QT tells you, it tells you how much overtake boost you have, and if it's using, and if it's blinking, you are using it. There you go. So Arya in P3, just giving that little bit of information to the drivers who are in front of you in their mirrors, if they can use their mirrors comfortably enough in VR, which obviously you can, more so using your side mirrors than in a flat screen view, but you can't obviously project a rear view mirror onto your main screen. It's a full immersion situation. That was Vader getting a wiggle on through the slow SA corner, obviously pushing very hard indeed. Has set a new fastest lap, a 1:14. Yes, you read that right, a 1:14.746. Beregoz not yet safe on P2 with his mediums, says Reds. Well, 6.3 seconds with 5 to go. Beregoz has been very smooth today so far. I'm not going to curse him, but he's been very, very smooth. I think it would be something quite unusual if Arya can catch and pass Beregoz, the Flying Finn. Look, can we just take a moment to look at the flags on the screen right now in the top 8? They are all different. This is fantastic. This is the VR Sim Racing World Championship, and we have a different nationality in the top 8 drivers on the circuit. I just want to say big bravo to everybody in the league for that. Let's check out P9. No, that is spoiled by Scabby, who's a repeat Canadian. But Scabby's in 9th at the moment, with Yank the Tank in 10th, where Grizzle is in 11th place, picking up a blue flag at the moment. Jogon Simpson 12th, and Senior Dude is at the back of the grid for Coach Dave. And how often does this happen at the moment? We have a driver leading and a driver at the back of the grid in the same car in SVR this season. Part of that reason is that we are seeding our teams. What does that mean? We have decided that we put one fast and one slower driver in each team. The idea is to raise the game of everybody and not make sure that any one team is particularly OP. But it's not always going to work that way, because we sort of scrambled to build a 5th division at one point, and so things have kind of got a little bit unbalanced. But overall, we've seeded our teams to make sure that people new to racing have a great team community to help them get faster and faster. And from a personal point of view, that has definitely helped me hugely. The help, the vicinity. Ballo as an ex-Red Bull junior driver, Ballo has been able to help hugely, but also, of course, the very, very quick Pat Finn. And the sense of community is huge in this SVR championship. At any one point, you've got essentially 9 permanent teammates to help you and to race with, if you want to practice each other's race conditions. Vader leads us by 9.3 seconds. How could I have ever thought that we were on for a close one to a finish for the lead? Vader leads by 9 seconds here. They were 1.5 seconds apart after the pit stops, but that's how things stand. Arya is just 5.2 away from Beregoz, but with 3.25 laps left to run, it does feel like it's hiding to nothing, but he has gapped Boliday Faye. Arya's positions so far this season have been fantastic. Our most recent winner as well. I don't think a 3rd place is a problem. for anybody as they try to mount a championship challenge with the likes of Vader and Beregoz in front of you. I'm sure Arya can't be too disappointed, although I'm sure he'll be replaying the mistake over and over. You don't replay the 52 great laps you had, you replay the 51, the one bad lap that you had, unfortunately. Vicinity is in 5th place, some 1 minute and 3 away from the lead of the championship. I'm wondering if Vicinity's fuel is actually okay here. Let's have a quick look at his fuel consumption. Does project him to be okay, but he's flashing red already, and there's over 3 laps still to go. I don't think he's going to be struggling, but he's gained 3 positions this race. Scabby's gained 4. Joe and Yank 2 each, and Arya 1. So it has been a successful race for lots of our drivers. Senor Dude and Joe are having fun at the moment. I think out there in P12 and 13. What is going on between these two right now? Let's try and have another look at this. This is Joe, and there we have Senor Dude coming behind him. They're going to make contact, are they? As they go down the start-finish straight. Good run then from Senor Dude, and breaking in the dirty air is Joe. They make contact. Joe, look at the sportsmanship from Joe, who holds off and lets Senor Dude go far away there, much further than the advantage gained by the small amount of contact. Joe is a very sporting driver, and allows him through. Vader leads Beregoz, leads Arya, and Boliday Fate. That gap down to 3.6 seconds now with 2 laps to go. Vicinity is in P5, and showing very well indeed from his start position of 8th, if I'm reading all of that correctly. Here he is, although his transponder is having some George Russell issues, but there it is. Senor Dude down 3, unfortunately, from his starting position, and the Stig on the hard to medium tyre option today in 6th place, 1 minute and 22 seconds away from the lead. But as I say, possibly a unwise choice to start on those hard tyres. I don't know that anybody else has used the hard tyre today. I think everyone has just used the medium and the soft. We do need to maybe make that hard tyre work at some point. But Vader is 14 seconds away from Arya here. Vader's pace has been absolutely electric, and the driver's just winding this race down now as we reach a finish. Arya is keen to put as much pressure on Beregoz as humanly possible. Beregoz will be feeling it, but hasn't got a great deal of fuel remaining. I think this is Vader coming upon Joe and his teammate Senor Dude, and I don't think they will want a lap putting on them here. I think they'd like to keep fighting to the end. Darkside Racing makes a late and an unexpected return to us for Coach Dave. This is all for May the 4th next week, but it's brought great luck and great quality to Vader, who wins in Interlagos, and a very impressive performance from Vader. Beregoz, though, comes through and takes home 2nd place, the 2nd largest trophy, of course, on offer, and Arya some 2.6 seconds further back in 3rd. That's your podium. Vader, Beregoz, Arya, and Boliday Fate is sipping the fuel on the way home. He miscalculated, unfortunately, and seems to be a Team Mega issue. Fuel calculations from last weekend in Suzuka, certainly. Vicinity will come home with, I think, the highest placed teammates together will be 4th and 5th for Team Mega. Looks like Stig and Soulshock have all crossed the line after the hour mark. This is Scavvy ahead of Yank the Tank. The 2 Vugstein Transport Service cars very equally matched on pace. Where Grizzle comes through for an 11th place finish. He was bottom of the championship at the start of today's proceedings, and he manages to score an 11th place finish. Jogon Sim versus Senor Dude will run all the way to the line as they go side by side. They make double contact, sidewall to sidewall. Looks like Senor Dude has actually held on to more boost than he needed. Still had a little bit left. Senor Dude picks up the position. Vicinity did get confirmed in 5th, but Vader is your win. What a fantastic job from him. That was a hell of a long stream. I wasn't expecting to do it all today, but we did it. And thank you everybody for joining us throughout that race. It was certainly a long session, but very, very entertaining. Certainly at points, particularly the sprint was absolutely magic. Best lap goes by way of Vader and the win. A 1 hour and 9 minute race total. Beregoz in 2nd, Arya in 3rd, Boliday Fave 4th, and Vicinity in 5th. Stig in 6th, Soulshock in 7th, and Mario in 8th. Remember, these are just those provisional results. Scavvy in 9th, Yank the Tank in 10th, where Grizzle, Senor Dude just pipping Jogon Sim there. QT unfortunately was a DNF, but those are your provisional results from our championship. That was the Interlagos round. Thank you so much, everybody, for following and subscribing. Remember to get a friend to subscribe to the channel, please, if possible. Remember, though, the rest of the races this week and next will be on my channel at WebORed5 on YouTube. Thanks, everybody. Had a great blast with you all. You've done a tremendous service to the league as being part of this great league here. And thank you very much. Thanks to QT for running the league. Thank you to Beregoz for bringing us Hector and everything else. But from me, Webbo, and from us all here at the league, thanks so much for watching, and we will catch you on the next race day.